in-front shot. Oh my!
Here to celebrate Georgetown! The Georgetown Raiders are Buckland Cup champions!
The Trenton Golden Hawks, the R. Hewitt Cup champions, are going to Coburn.
Back to Minerva. Shot scores! And the Coburn Cougars are the Royal Bank Cup champions!
Evans bunting, they score! Frank Poche, the game winner, and the Buckland Cup winner!
And then there were two, the Blades, the Dukes. The Buckland Cup final kicked off last week, and we've got all the highlights coming right up for you. This is the OJ Today. Welcome back, everybody. Tons to cover this week. Markham Royals head coach Mike Galati will join me later in the show to talk about the fantastic season that his squad put up as they were crowned North Division champions. Also, the league named its first and second All-Star teams, and we'll have full coverage of that as well. But first, OJ highlights, and after over 7 months of play, the league was down to just two squads. Northwest champions Oakville and Southeast titleists Wellington. Now, Oakville was expected to be here. The Dukes, not so much so. They'd been the story of the playoffs so far, knocking off 3 successive teams ranked higher than them. The stage was set for an epic confrontation. Game 1 kicked off last Friday. OJ Highlights now brought to you by Hilton Hotels. Hilton, the official hotel of the Ontario Junior Hockey League. The Blades had lost just 3 times in the playoffs up to this point, and talk about the rich getting richer. They had just added AP Christian Gurney, who put up 82 points in 32 games for St. Catharines Junior B after spending 3 seasons in the OHL with Erie, and Oakville just looked dominant right away. 3:08 in, Kyle Lewis gets it over for Spencer Kirsten. He slams it in, and the Blades lead by a 1-0 count. Now, scary moment for Oakville here, though. Keeper Will Barber makes the initial stop off the rush. His own teammate falls right on top of him, and Will was down for a few minutes on the ice, but much to everyone's relief, got up, and he was able to continue on. The Blades just kept on coming, using that big Olympic ice to their advantage. Lewis down the wing, over to the charging Josh Nixon, and Josh bulges the twine, and the home team was leading Wellington 2-0. Good crowd on hand as well in Oakville, over 1,100 at 16 Mile Arena. Just 3 minutes after that, Lewis, right in the middle of things again, steals behind the net, hits Jack Ricketts. He rips it home, and Oakville had themselves a comfy 3-0 lead after 20 minutes of play. Logan Bateman was tested often between the pipes for Wellington. Thomas Maya charges in, but Logan gets his pad down just in time to deny and keep the deficit at 3. The Dukes didn't have much going on offensively. This was close, though. Shot from the point. Barber can't find it. Luckily for him, the Dukes whiff on it, and the puck stays out. The Blades continue to pad their lead. The rubber will end up bouncing to Spencer Kirsten out front, and he will put it in. That is his second of the contest, and Oakville in the driver's seat, up by a 4 spot now, and these guys were just getting it done in all facets of the game. Heavy play, sure thing. Jack Lyons tattoos Jacob Vrugdenhill along the boards with the gorgeous open ice hit, and then the bad blood starts to boil after the whistle. Dawson Ellis gives Barber a little tap right there as he skates by, and not shockingly, the Blades wanted to have a little powwow about that. A little frustration on Wellington's part, I think. Bateman was doing all he could to give his boys a chance. For the second time in the period, stones Maya from in close, but he just couldn't do it all. Now, remember we talked about Christian Gurney earlier. He made his presence felt. Lays it off for Kirsten. Heads up ice, 2-on-1. Kirsten back for Gurney. Booyah. What a snipe. His first as a Blade. What an addition for Oakville. They would go on to add one more tally in the third as well, as the Blades lay a beating on the Dukes, taking Game 1 of the Buckland Cup final by a 6-0 count. Okay, a reminder, the Ontario Junior Development League kicks off in May for the 5th season. Games will take place in Oshawa, Etobicoke, Oakville, and Brampton. 10 teams will play this year. College Hockey Inc.
is the official sponsor, and it's all about developing teenage hockey players for the OGHL and beyond. Head to OGHL.ca to find out more about the league. News and notes brought to you by Jostens, the official ring and awards provider to the OGHL. And NHL Central Scouting released its final rankings for the draft. Eric Ciccolini of the Junior Canadians came in at 108 for North American skaters. And he, of course, is going to be a Michigan Wolverine next fall. Zach Ewens of the Wellington Dukes was listed at 130. Zach's been a standout D-man on a veteran Dukes team this season, and he'll play at Merrimack College on a scholarship this fall. Ty Glover of the Buffalo Junior Sabres was ranked 215th on the list. The forward notched 42 points this year for the American squad, and he'll attend Western Michigan in the fall of 2020. Congrats, guys. OJ commitments by Warrior Hockey. Warrior, official partner of the OGHL Game of the Week and the OJ Today. And one to tell you about this week, Ryan De Silva, the D-man for the Stouffville Spirit, has committed to Guelph of U Sports for this fall. Ryan had a great year, 46 points in 43 games, and he also spent time with the Orangeville Flyers before this season. Congrats, Ryan. OJ Trivia brought to you by Cool Sports. Cool, the official apparel provider to the OGHL. And this week's question is, what school did Aurora goalie Luca Durante recently commit to? Which school? First correct answer to R. Morocco at the OGHL.ca is going to win a cool prize pack. This segment of the OJ Today is brought to you by Cliff Bar. Cliff Bar, the official energy bar of the OGHL.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the OJ Today. Well, the Wellington Dukes knew they would have their hands full with the Oakville Blades in the Buckland Cup final. Even so, they still couldn't have anticipated what went down in Game 1. The Blades ran the Dukes right off the ice at 16 Mile Arena, spanking them by a 6-0 count. Now, Oakville, of course, is the only squad in the OJ with Olympic-sized ice, and the team certainly takes full advantage of that. Game 2, however, switched to the tighter confines of Lehigh Arena back in Wellington, where the Dukes hoped to get back on track.
The Wellington's home crowds are usually a boisterous bunch, and this game was no exception. 1,000 on hand, and they liked what they saw at first anyway. Tyson Gilmore to Jake Vergen-Hill, and the Dukes had their first lead of the series up 1-0. It didn't last long though. 2 minutes later, Holden Doggett to Tanner McEachern. The twine bulges behind Logan Bateman, and they were even Steven at 1 apiece with less than a minute remaining before intermission. Scramble out front here, and the big man Kyle Potts wraps home the loose puck, and the visitors lead 2-1 after 20 minutes of play. Second frame, they'd add to their advantage. Look at the passing here. Tic-tac-toe. The captain, future UMass Minuteman Peyton Reeves puts it home, and it was looking bleak for the Dukes, down 3-1. But hold on. Wellington on the power play. Shot comes in. Andrew Rinaldi, what a shocker. He pokes it in for the Dukes, Mr. Everything for them. And the home side cuts the deficit to a single goal. Final period now. They would complete the comeback with just over 5 minutes left. Great pass. Ben Woodhouse to Frank Vitucci. All tied up at 3 apiece. However, Wellington taking a late penalty, and on the power play, Spencer Kirsten puts in his third goal in just 2 games against the Dukes, and that would prove to be the game winner as Oakville waltzes into the Lions' Den and comes out with a victory. They tame the Dukes by a 4-3 count to take a 2-0 lead in the series. Game 3 went back in Halton Region 2 nights later. The Blades looking to take a commanding 3-0 series lead over the defending Buckland Cup champs, and it took them just 33 seconds to draw first blood. Spencer Kirsten, continuing to torch the Dukes, puts it past Bateman, and 1-0 for the home side. Just moments later, they nearly make it 2. Josh Nixon off to the races. Bateman equal to the task, though, and it's still 1-0. The Blades continue to swarm. Jack Ricketts takes the feed, wires it, ping, right off the goalie's best friend. Puck stays out. Like a good Phil Collins song, though, you could feel it coming in the air. More sublime passing. Bang, bang, boom. Nixon. Wow. Too easy. That makes it 2-0 for the home squad. Plays like this, though, epitomize this Blades team. Peyton Reeves, the captain, leading by example, loses his stick, still takes the man out, and then kicks it out of his zone not once but twice. Rightfully gets a huge cheer by his teammates and the home crowd after that. And once again, they were laying the body as well. Callum Jones loses the puck, keeps going, just runs right through Andrew Rinaldi. Injury to insult. Second frame, more Kirsten magic.
This is Kirsten, gains the red line, gains the blue line. And Kirsten trying to sift his way through, scores! Well, Spencer Kirsten has done everything but fill the water bottles. He went pretty much coast to coast. In fact, it was literally coast to coast.
What a rush. The Dukes would add one in the third, but Oakville takes it, and they're looking for the sweep in Game 4 in Wellington.
Well, next week's show will be our final one of the season, and it's going to be jam-packed with news, plays of the year, and the like. So we thought we'd take a moment now to acknowledge the videographers and photographers who are so essential to the OGA today. The pros who are out there every week getting all that incredible game footage. Here's a look now at those behind the camera in the OGHL.
Out front, Horsley takes a shot, he scores!
They're not on the ice. They're not the broadcasters you see on air, but they're the reason the OGHL highlights you see every week are some of the best in the world of junior hockey. The people behind the camera that bring the action onto your screen. These are the pros who help make the OJ Today the show that it is. Steve Mitchell is the busiest videographer in the OGHL by far. Along with his daughter Jennifer, they run Genmark Digital Media, covering Aurora, Newmarket, Stouffville, and North York. Now, Steve has been covering the OGHL for years, and you can contact him at genmarkdigital.com. Joe Montezano filmed for numerous squads this year through his company Fedora Films, including North York, Newmarket, and Aurora. And Joe has been an OJ broadcaster for nearly a decade and also provides top-notch soccer coverage. You can find his website at fedorafilms.ca. Danelle Beatty runs DB Sports Video, based out of Whitby, and once again this year he provided standout coverage of the Whitby Fury. You can contact Danelle at DB_sports video. Steve Colterman was the man behind the camera for the Toronto Patriots this year, and he provides excellent footage. You can contact him at coltermanproductions@gmail.com. Michael Huth runs Ocean Fog Productions and has filmed for the Toronto Junior Canadians franchise for several seasons now. You can contact Michael at oceanfogproductions.com. Gary Morrison of JVI Productions filmed the Brampton Admirals and his son Ryan, the Mississauga Chargers. They also offer extensive lacrosse coverage. Head to jvisportsnetwork.com for more information. And last and certainly not least, a huge thank you to OGHL Images. Tim Bates and his staff provide game photography that is truly second to none, and they were at every game and every league showcase. We featured quite a bit of their work on the show this year and are grateful to have it. Visit oghlimages.photoshelter.com for more information. Thanks to everyone for your help this year. This segment of the OJ Today is brought to you by Barnburner Hockey. Barnburner, official partner of the OGHL Game of the Week and the OJ Today.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the OJ Today, and happy to have for the first time this year via Skype the GM, head coach of the Barkham Royals, Mr. Michael Addy, joining me. Mike, sorry it's been a long time coming, buddy, but welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you. Glad to be here.
I'll start with a general question for you. First in the North Division, both in the regular season and in the playoffs, conference finalists as well. Just give us your thoughts on the season that was for the Royals and how you thought the squad played.
I thought we were real good for most of the year. I mean, a younger team than we normally have here in Markham, but hey, they found a way to put wins together at the right times. And a key acquisition, I think, acquiring Albano December 1st there was key for us. I think he kind of turned our season around and made us into a contender. Making key saves and just being a real good teammate. The guys fed off of him, and like I said, they just found ways to win, and it was kind of nice to see.
Well, round one of the playoffs, and we'll get to Albano on that too, because you were taking on the Georgetown Raiders, who won the crossover game against Pickering to get in there. A series that had everything, including an epic Game 6, one of the best playoff games I've ever seen. Double overtime. Albano was huge in that game for you guys.
Yeah.
Just talk about that series against the Raiders.
Yeah, they were a good team. I don't know how many, 7-8 guys off their finals and championship team. I mean, they knew how to win, and they had a deadly top line, 2 real good goalies, a good D-core. I mean, it was a close series, 6 games that really each game could have went either way. And again, we just found a way to win at the right time. And Albano was real good that whole series, not just in Game 6, but that was a pretty cool Game 6. I know a little cooler for us because we won, but it had everything from non-goals to goals called back to guys wanting goals called back. It was
no question.
It was pretty
and of
funny.
course, the goal that was called back that you're talking about, you were on the ice shaking hands, thinking the series was over, and then and they called it a no goal. We could go on for that for days, though. But we'll move to the North Final. You went. It was you guys in Newmarket, and you were down 3-0 against the Hurricanes before pulling off seriously one of the greatest comebacks the league has ever seen, taking the next 4 games to win it. Just take us through the series and what turned it around for you guys, and what you said to them when you were down 3-0.
I think after Game 3, right before Game 4, as we said, we had a meeting, and I think myself, Spencer, and Brad sat the guys down and kind of explained to them that we lost 3 games in a row, but they were all by a goal. The winning goal was scored late in the 3rd period, so it could have really been 3-0 for us, and we'd be sitting here and trying to close. And we reminded them that no one in their right mind believes that we could do this and come back. As long as the 20 guys in this room believe it, we've got a shot. And we won that game, Game 4, and then we ended up winning Game 5 and sitting in Newmarket again for Game 6. We're 1 win away from forcing a Game 7, and we knew if we could pull off a win in Game 6, getting back to our rink where we had been so good all season, we had a shot, and they found a way.
And just incredible. It defies belief, but it's so great for you guys. And you knew you'd be in tough against Oakville in the conference final, and you won Game 1 before they swept the next 4 to put you guys out. Just talk about that series. Obviously, they're a powerhouse, and your impression of that Blade squad.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I don't know how many, under 10 losses all season, 90 some odd points. They're the best team all year for a reason. We kind of had not the best schedule, going 3 games in that rink, which is so tough to play in, Olympic size, and they do a great job. Yeah, they do a great job of using the width and pulling your D to the outside and putting pucks inside. And hey, they're the best team in the league for a reason, and they got a shot, a real legit shot.
If you were, so then I'll pose this question for you. Maybe it'll help Wellington out. But if you were the Dukes, what advice would you give? Because the series is underway now. They're having a difficult time. What would you say? What are a couple? Just give us 1 or 2 keys.
I mean, it's easier said than done, but you got to get more pucks to Barber. We didn't do enough of that. I think he's a good goalie, but he needs to be worked. It's tough. They've got 4 lines. We were going through their lineup, put their lineup on the board when we first started the series. They got 2 guys with 20 goals in their 4th line.
It's amazing. And they're big boys, too.
Tough.
They're big and skilled, which makes it so tough.
They play hard. They play heavy, and they got a ton of skill. But I mean, Wellington's a good team too, so it should be a real good series.
It's been great so far. Yeah, okay, we got just over a minute, so we'll have to make this quicker than we planned on it. But you had the top 2 regular season scorers in the league in Luciani and Braden Aubin. Obviously essential to your success this year. Luciani is well named most improved player in the OGHL. First team All-Star. Just talk about those 2, just under a minute, Mike. Just give us some quick thoughts on them and what they meant.
Oh, they were huge in our success. I mean, how many years do you get 1 and 2 in scoring on the same team? And you know what? They stepped up after seeing 3 key guys leave us over the summer for school, and they took the bull by the horns and became real big leaders and big time scorers and huge pieces to our success this season. And we're very fortunate to have them and excited to see them move on.
I was thinking about that. I'm going to have to actually look back and see when the last time, how long ago that might have been that ever happened. The first top two guys from one team. Incredible.
Yeah.
And just, a great year, man. Obviously, no shame in losing to that powerful Oakville squad.
Yeah,
you won 2 rounds,
sure.
North Division champions. Just congrats, man. And thanks for coming on. And enjoy the off season, as short as it is now. We'll see you next year.
Yeah. All right, man. Thanks, Alex.
Okay, more OJ Today. Coming back in just a moment. This segment of the OJ Today is brought to you by Troy Hockey Apparel. Troy, the official jersey of the OGHL. Hey everybody, welcome back to the OJ Today. Well, 2018-19 was a heck of a year in the OGHL, and it saw some truly phenomenal performances by players, including one in particular who broke a league record that went back decades. Now, the first and second team All-Stars were recently selected by a committee of OGA general managers and media members. It's always a challenge with so many outstanding players to choose from, but no question about it, this year saw a special few elevate themselves above the rest. Each season in the OGHL, there's one player who takes things to that next level, a competitor that separates himself from his peers. 2 years ago, it was Georgetown's Jack Jacome. Last season, it was Toronto Patriots 50-goal man Andrew Petrucci. This season, that person is a goaltender, and he leads the way on the OGHL's first team of All-Stars. Jet Alexander had one of the greatest seasons of any puck stopper in league history for the North York Rangers. Jet posted a stunning 1.67 goals against average and 945 save percentage. His league best 30 wins included 10 shutouts, which broke an OGHL record that dated back to the 1970s. Alexander was named the CJHL's first star for the month of October, and all season long, he's amazed his teammates with his performance on the ice.
He's proving to everybody that he is the best goalie in the league, and that he should easily be moving on to the next level within the next couple of years. I mean, he's a great guy to have in the room. We all look up to him. We think he's a leader, and that's really important to have one of your best players being a leader in the room.
He's never really fighting rebounds that I've noticed, and he's such a joy to play in front of, especially as a defenseman. He's always talking with us. He's always making our lives a lot easier out there. So he's definitely a huge part of the team, and I think anyone in the league who's looking at us knows that he's a huge part of what we have going on here.
Alexander's teammate Joey Maziarz became an OGHL Superstar this season. He was named the league's top defenseman and was an offensive dynamo, recording 54 points in 53 games. He also led all D-men in playoff scoring. While he did put up the points, Maziarz played a full 200-foot game, never losing sight of his defensive responsibilities. Joey will head to Mercyhurst University on a scholarship.
Joey is he's a great player on the ice, obviously, but off the ice he brings a lot of passion and leadership to the room. On the ice he is, like in my opinion, the best defenseman in the league. He moves the puck well. I've never seen him not break out the puck on his first try. He brings an offensive side to the game that is special, and he's huge on our power play and penalty kill. I mean, he plays in all situations. And he's a hard worker on and off the ice. I can't say anything bad about Joey.
Garrett Pike of the Oakville Blades edged out Maziarz by a single point in the scoring lead for OJ defensemen in the regular season. Garrett put up 55 to Maziarz's 54, playing in all situations for Oakville. The silky smooth Pike has helped lead the Blades to the Buckland Cup final
and he's headed to the University of Alaska Fairbanks on a scholarship this fall. The Rangers added a third player to the first-team All-Stars in forward Brandon Yeamans. Simply put, Yeamans was outstanding this season. The fifth-year OGHL player put up 70 points split between Mississauga and North York and added 13 in 16 playoff games. The 20-year-old from King City, Ontario, recorded 121 points for his OJ career. Forward Andrew Rinaldi committed to RIT University in February, and he'll head there this fall. The 21-year-old led the Dukes with 63 points during the regular season, and he was named Cool Southeast Conference Player of the Month for October. Dukes head coach John Druce pays him the ultimate compliment.
He's playing like a man among boys, to be quite honest with you. He's such a strong skater. He can be very dynamic. He takes advantage of opportunities to, whether we're shorthanded, even strength, or on the power play, he utilizes his speed and gets into tough traffic areas and scores big goals. He has done nothing but that since the start of the season, and we expect much more of that for the rest of the year.
Markham forward Alessio Luciani rounds out the first team of All-Stars, and that should shock nobody. Luciani terrorized opponents this year, leading the OJ in scoring with 76 points in 54 regular season games. But the accolades didn't stop there, as he was named the league's most improved player and finished runner-up to Jet Alexander for OJ MVP. Now here's a quick look at the second team All-Stars: Adam Kim, Eric Ciccolini, and Brett Bannister. For the forward group, Harrison Rees and Devin Maye on defense, and Mitchell Weeks in goal. A quick note on Ciccolini: the 18-year-old had 62 points in 48 games. He played in the CJHL's top prospect game, represented Canada East at the World Junior A Challenge, and was also named the OJ's top prospect. Eric was just listed as the 108th best skater in North America for this year's NHL draft, and he will take his sublime skills to the University of Michigan this coming fall.
His day-to-day habits are exceptional. In game, I mean, his speed and his shot are at the pro level, in my opinion. But it's just, for me, it's the compete level on a daily basis. He's focused on doing good habits at practice. Just an elite level talent.
Congratulations to each of the All-Star selections, continuing the legacy of OGHL excellence. And that's all the time we've got for this week. But just remember to keep up to date with the league all throughout the Buckland Cup final. You can head to oghl.ca, and of course, all of your social media options are right there for you to explore as well. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. We'll see you next week.